Okay, I'm going to keep this as brief as possible. This is an overview, a debunking of a video that's out there. It's been out there for about 5 days. It's about the PCR test for SARS coronavirus 2, which causes COVID disease. The claim is the PCR test is useless and that it's creating lots of false positives because it's detecting human chromosome 8. Now, this is just wrong on so many levels. This has to be done. Now, in a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, I'll explain. It's by somebody called Amanda Vollmer. All respect to her. This is not an attack on her, but this video needs to be explained. Now, this is the video here. The title is Bombshell Evidence that COVID RNA base pairs are identical to chromosome 8 human DNA. Now, that for start's wrong. The tragedy is that David Icke and Dr. Andrew Kaufman, I don't know how to explain it, David Icke and Kaufman have picked this up and put their own video out, and Kaufman, who claims to be an expert on lots of things, completely supports everything in the video to do with rubbishing the COVID PCR test. I'll explain the 3 simple reasons why this is all wrong. Very simple, quick video. This is DNA that's been separated. The PCR test works by having short sequences that are very specific and attached to specific areas. So for both strands of the DNA, you get a forward and a reverse primer. Now, these are the points at which the DNA is copied, and you'll see here that this is the enzyme that attaches, and this is a natural process. It's a natural enzyme that's been used commercially for this test, and it copies the DNA. Now, this is one cycle, so it's specific. It goes to a certain part of the virus, of the nucleic acid of the virus, and it amplifies this very specific area. Now, it creates 2 copies every cycle. It does up to 45 cycles, but normally 30, 35 can be enough. So it doubles and doubles and doubles and doubles. So from a small amount of viral nucleic acid, it can amplify up to a level where it can be detected. Simple. Now, the claim is that those primers that you saw, those primers that stick onto the nucleic acid, here they are. The claim is that one of the PCR, the SARS CoV-2, the COVID PCR test, one of the primers matches human chromosome 8. It doesn't. For a start, she's got the primer round the wrong way. Here it's displayed in a 5 to a 3' direction. It should be reversed. She should have done a chromosome search using the reverse of that sequence. So that's the first error. Second error, only one of the primers, she claims, would stick an anneal to human chromosome 8. The PCR test would only work if both of those were to attach to human chromosome 8. That's not the case. So even if it did attach to human chromosome 8, you'd only get 1 copy for every PCR cycle. You'd end up with up to 45 copies. Now, to get a positive result, you need hundreds of thousands of copies, up to 1 million or more of copies to give a positive result. So even if it did match the human chromosome 8, it wouldn't amplify and produce enough DNA to create a positive result. So that's rubbish. But there's a third error as well, that even if it was multiplying a section of the human chromosome, it relies on another level of specificity, which is why which is why the PCR test is so powerful, in that this secondary level of specificity, a 21 base pair probe that requires that it matches the target sequence and it binds to it as part of the application process. Now, the probe, it works by sticking to the target sequence, and as the DNA's copied, it cleaves off, cuts off a fluorescent marker, which once it's cleaved off, it fluoresces. Now, the PCR test detects that fluorescent marker. It doesn't directly measure the DNA or the nucleic acid of the virus, the amplified virus. It measures the subsequent, the resultant increase in fluorescence. Now that fluorescence at the start is very low, but if you double and double and double and double, you get more and more and more fluorescence where it suddenly exponentially increases, and you get a positive signal detected from the PCR machine. It's a positive result. So there are 3 errors. Okay, the primer, she's got it back to front. Even if it did stick to human chromosome 8, because it hasn't got a forward and a reverse primer, you wouldn't get exponential amplification of the DNA. And even if it did amplify human DNA, the probe doesn't stick to it, so you would get no increase in fluorescence. You wouldn't get a positive result. Now this is misinformation, false information. It's a tragedy it's out there. David Icke's picked it up. Andrew Kaufman, or whatever his name is, it's embarrassment to all of them. They need to post an apology. These guys are making money out of this. Now 75,000 views of this video, this one here, from Amanda Vollmer. I don't know how much money she's made out of this. She needs to donate it to charity, I don't know. This information needs to stop. People are making money out of human suffering and death. It just needs to stop.